The project started back in 2017 when we were recording the Sounds of Chernobyl for Artifact. This looked more like sound design. Several times we traveled to Chernobyl, to Pripyat, and to the exclusion zone area. In general, we were looking for interesting places. We were recording the sounds of the wind and of the water. Inside of the NPP, we took the musical instruments. They played different sounds, and we recorded. Christoph Attias from Taylor Pop Music, who was the nominee of one of the French awards, and then the first sounds were put on the track. He was there here with us in 2018 in the first Artifact. He was very well welcomed by press, by the media. I think music very well transverses the feelings and information. Each and every person likes a certain musical style. I don't think there are people who can say, I hate music, any kind of music. You still listen to something. And through different musicians, through different genres and styles, you can actually engage many audiences, many different ones. And that's why in 2020, we decided to start the Sounds of Chernobyl project. We engaged 6 Ukrainian musicians that are on the rise right now. After a year, we've seen how they grew as well as the project does. So we took them to the art residencies. That's a small tour in there. Just for inspiration and to fine-tune them. Some of the musicians already knew something about Chernobyl. Somebody knew nothing about it. They said, I never had any conversation about this in my family until you wrote to me and offered to go to Chernobyl. They heard about the movie series. Some of those watched them, some of those didn't. There are some people who said, I know very little about it. I would like to know more about the case. There were also people who had some personal stories to share, but they didn't want to share it, actually, at the beginning. So that was the whole picture of how our artists looked like. So it was very great because with every artist, you need to actually work closely one-on-one with all the details, with explanations. That's why we were trying to engage them, to work individually with each and every one. Because you can't just say to the musician, okay, that's a nice music, but I don't think you need to rewrite the text. No, I think the artists, they are really emotional, they're really sensitive. They can sense everything. They might not perceive all the information and digest everything, but they very well digest emotions. Because this is who they are. This is their essence. This is their nature. They feel much more than the other people. And that's why so many artists travel to the exclusion zone, and there are so many culture projects in there and coming from there, because that place is impressive. I have to say that it is impressive, but I don't think there are so many projects. We don't have a lot of artistic projects. We just talked to Martin, as you may remember. There are many international experts and artists that I'm talking to. Actually, art is very deeply rooted in the society, especially in the Western civilization. Martin, for instance, said that they had done this project with a fountain. If you want to come to Ukraine and say we're going to make a project around the fountain, they're going to tell you you're crazy. Why would one want to make a project, a digital project around a fountain? I think Chernobyl is often very triggering in this society. If somebody is doing anything, even if that is not very good, still there is some publicity around it. So the story was that, yes, of course, we will engage those artists. They would create songs, and it's very good that a song is a very good format where you have the words and the music, and plus we attach the video clip to that. And that's a very good combination of several media. This is poetry, this is music as well. They're put together in a song, there's something else, plus the video, and that creates a different layer, a different space. To just create a song about Chernobyl, this is much more complicated than just creating a song about something else. Music can be very nice, it can sound well, but to create if you want to create it with the lyrics, you know. I know Chernobyl project has already 6 different songs. They are all freely available on the Sounds of Chernobyl YouTube channel. So let us watch how those artists traveled to the exclusion zone, how they were engaged directly into those art residences, and what kind of emotions they had. Please, guys, let's put up the video.
Це відвідування Стасік, української співачки.
That's Stasik, a Ukrainian singer.
Значить, наступна срака буде ще глибше.
Well, okay. I think the next disaster will be even worse. It means many more people will die. I think there will be another tragedy that will make people learn from mistakes. If a child doesn't know how to take the first step without falling down, he or she will fall down. But once it will fall down on the floor, another time, if no conclusions are made, then you're going to fall into something worse, into the fire. If lessons are never learned, the situation will be getting worse and worse.
Виставу творчості Цветаєвої. Випічна вистава.
Все було, щоб не було лісу. Я не можу взагалі уявити, що немає лісу. Типа він же є.
Та часть, она под водой была, соответственно, на ней очень много потенциально. Да.
Я не, коротше. У мене в сім'ї, наприклад, не було розмов про...
In my family, I never talked about what happened. Nobody ever told me about it. And the Chernobyl disaster, what is radiation, how it works. I mean, I could not even imagine anything like this.
Нехай 15 років тому вона там. І ось так. через
Rethinking the disaster through the modern cultural projects. For that, you need to know at least something about the disaster itself. This information is so much closed. It's so much covered from the public. It's like a wound which is never examined and never purified, never sanitated. Not even to say through artistic means, but even scientific means. It's like a big wound which is not properly treated, and it still stays and it rots.
Я строю дом из капель красы, из света преломленного улыбкой. Я строю дом на почве вашего лука. Прости, нет непрактичности.
In 2020, Ukrainian musicians recorded the sounds of Chernobyl.
Так, такими були поїздки.
All right, those were the trips. All the 6 trips about how the musicians traveled there and what kind of thoughts they shared can be watched on the Sounds of Chernobyl YouTube channel and on the social media. And you can also compare or study the opinions of those artists who traveled to the exclusion zones. And you can then check whatever they created after. I know the project has its continuation this year today with the support from UCF, the Ukrainian Culture Fund. Is this also going to be about immersing people, art residences, etc.? We're more focusing on electronic musicians, and the music compositions will be introduced as electronic tracks. Electronic music also has big potential and a great range of opportunities for passing the emotion. So it's going to be interesting to see the results. We're already traveling with the guys to the exclusion zone. We normally talk to them before and after. And also they go to the art residence and they feel all this, they sense it, look for locations, they look for the moment, the right moment. And then we also shoot the video streams instead of video clips. So they perform there live, we film that, and then we add 3D graphics, and we'll be presenting those as movie clips, as video streams from different locations in the exclusion zone. Like I said, we're going to add some of the VR locations for those electronic musicians to have more opportunities for emotional expression. Because if a musician, they did the video clips, they could create a story behind. In some of those clips, they are not even showing up. In some of the others, they're just telling the story. In some of the other, they are just displaying their emotional content or actually their impressions from the exclusion zone. While if the musician performs right there on site, this helps actually create a totally different set of emotions. It's looks quite and sounds quite impressive. We're helped by 3D graphics, laser scanning, computer graphics that they use in the movies and in whatever artworks. So it's going to be something really interesting. Some very progressive people are already doing this for quite a long time in the West, but I'm sure we're going to show something interesting, even for them too. Yes, it is really important that those songs have become the results of those culture products, and they cover a lot of audience. And let us watch one of the most popular musical clips from the last year. I know they will soon release their album. So this album will be available. And now let us watch the clip of the band called Cascade. Had most of the feedback we received. They have very young audience. They are very popular, and thanks to them, they rose this issue and engaged the young audience to the discussion, to the narrative.
Так, це був один з кліпів,
This was
які...
one of the movie clips, musical clips that we prepared last year. All the others you can see on our Sounds of Chernobyl YouTube channel.